All right, we will go ahead and get started. It's 9:30. Today's topic is the new MFA process for MyCBDesk. So all of the agents and staff have a new authentication process that we're going to go over today, and better hopes to work with your agents and know how to walk through this new process because it can be a little tricky. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share multiple screens, so bear with me. Hopefully it's all smooth. I'm going to first go over this email, everybody can see my screen, that Carrie sent out about the new Okta login. So if you search her name, you should be able to find it. If an agent doesn't have it, feel free to forward it to them. It has the instructions in here. But it walks you through the new single sign-on that we're phasing out the old single sign-on for CBDesk, and we are going to a new authenticator app process. So we're going to either use Okta Verify or Google Authenticator apps. So either one of these apps will work for the MFA process. I'll walk you through the Okta this morning, but I wanted to go over these dates because these are pretty important dates. So these go by last name. So this is the timeline of agents and staff with the last name and the date that they are affected. So if you have CD through L and M as your last name, you have already been affected. And once you sign into CBDesk, it will prompt you to set up that MFA for the first time if you have not already. So keep in mind, there are still some more dates to come. So not everybody is affected just yet. And you're going to continue to get some questions, or if you're an agent on the call and you're not affected yet and you have a last name ending in N through Z or starting with N through Z, then you're not going to be affected until either October 14th, 21st, or 28th. So these are to come. But don't fret, there are some nice step-by-step guidelines here. If you click this, it brings you to a nice Google Docs that has screenshots to be able to walk you or your agent through the process. So feel free to share this with anybody. Again, that's Carrie's email. If you search Okta or Desk, it should come right up from Carrie, or feel free to reach out and we can always re-forward that. So just wanted to point that out. And there are some instructions here, and then we're going to actually walk through the process from scratch, and hopefully all goes well. So we're going to pretend my last name is, L or M today. So when you or the agent goes to log in, they're going to log into their CBDesk as normal. This is my first time signing in, so crossing our fingers. Perfect. Okay, so they're going to see this message, set up SMS Factor. Again, they can use either of these apps. I think it's very rare that somebody already has one of these on their phone, unless you're really into IT and tech and authentication and data safety. So if you don't have either one of these, it's totally fine. I would pick one and then maybe stick with that going forward. I would personally anticipate a lot of companies are obviously transitioning to multi-factor authentication. So we're not going to be the first, we're not going to be the last. It's coming, and it's only to protect your data and safety, of course. So I already have Okta on my phone. I'm going to switch over and show you what that looks like. But if you don't have either of these, you would just go to the Play Store or the Apple Store and download either of these apps. They're both honestly the same. I would just pick one again and move forward. So we're going to go Okta today. So we're going to click Setup. We're going to select device type. I'm using an iPhone this morning, so you would select iPhone. And then it'll tell you to download it from the App Store on your mobile device. So I'm going to take over and share on my phone what that looks like. Ooh, let me go back one moment. We're going to get to this screen first, so I want you to see this. It's going to say set up Okta Verify, and you won't have anything to do here until you're on your mobile device. So now I'm going to switch back and show you what it looks like on an iPhone. It's loading. All right, there we go. So you can all see my phone. And we're going to come over here to the Okta Verify app. Everybody see my handsome boy in the background? So we're going to click Okta Verify. We're going to pretend you just downloaded it from the App Store or the Play Store. These are my multiple logins, so you're not going to see all of that. You can disregard those. But you're going to click this little plus button in the upper right corner, If that is not there and it's your very first time at Okta, there will probably be a blue bar at the bottom that says add account, but we're going to add account by clicking that plus sign in the upper right-hand corner. Here it shows you have two options, organization or other, which is Facebook, Google. We are a work, school, or company, so we are going to go ahead and click that first option, add account from another device. We're going to say skip. And then it's going to say, hey, do you have your QR code? Before you continue, make sure your QR code is shown on another device, such as a laptop or computer. And we're going to say, yes, ready to scan, because I just showed you that's what popped up on that desktop. So we're going to go ahead and scan. Beautiful. I have been enabling Face ID just because I like quickness and efficiency. So I enable it. Don't feel like you have to. And then it's going to say, do you want this to be your default? I would say yes, because most people have only one, but I'm going to skip it, but you can set it as your default. And then you're going to get a confirmation that your account has been added. So you're going to say done. And then once I'm going to stop sharing. And we're going to go back to our screen. Let me share my computer screen now. This is going too smooth. There's got to be an obstacle coming up any moment. So then you're going to see this green check mark here that you successfully set up Okta Verify via your mobile device, and there's a nice confirmation there. You can additionally set up a Google Authenticator. Personally, I would not encourage it. I think it gets a little too overcomplicated and it's just too much and it's not really necessary. So I think one is more than enough personally, but Carrie or Paul, feel free to overrule me. So then we're going to click finish. And once you click finish, this is just because I have a new account. They should not get this, but realistically, let me just set this up. Then you'll see that you will be able to go into MyCBDesk. This is just because I was using a test account. And then you should see the CBDesk. That will not happen. This happened on my last training too with Florida. But it will work. Of course, I manifested it into existence. You'll see this screen, of course, not that 400 error. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's because I took too long or if it's because I'm incognito. But you are the agent. Once you go through that multi-factor authentication process, you will get this screen. So don't worry about that 400 error. But if you have any hangups, of course, feel free to reach out. I can't walk you through again, unfortunately, but we are recording it. So this will be uploaded to the Schmidt Video Classroom. But before we end, are there any questions?
I want to make sure that you did.
We had one come through the chat box from Patty, so let me take a look.
Thank you.
She's asked, so do we pick phone option if we're using the Office tablet?
It will work the same way on the iPad. It'll have that QR code. That is the new process. So it will be Okta Verify or Google Authenticator apps. We did load both of those on the iPads already, so you can use those. I don't think it necessarily provides a phone option, but it's more like the device, if that's what you're asking, Patty. But in that case, you would say Apple and then just do it from the iPad, if that makes sense. Any other questions?
One more just came in. It says, is this only for phone, not desktop?
Not necessarily. You can do it via the phone or the iPad in offices. So, but you do need some kind of device to be able to do that QR code. And realistically, it's going to be the mobile device of the agent 100% of the time. Or if you're walking them through the iPad, you can show them that way. But I honestly think once you've set it up on the iPad, you're going to be loaded into the iPad. So Carrie, I feel like that gets a little tricky. Once you've already, as a staff, set up Okta or Google Authenticator on the iPad, you're signed in on there and you're going to have where you saw the codes on there. Realistically, I think you might be able to sign out, but it's more for learning purposes and training purposes, I would think. You guys can definitely go on the iPad and set it up through CBDesk and walk the agents through it that way. But once you're already set up, you can't really show them. But I'm not sure. Let me see. Are you able to sign out, Carrie, when you're in Okta? Because I haven't seen that yet.
You can.
Okay, there you go. So you can sign out, and I'm trying it on my end just to see how it looks.
But to be clear, if you're accessing Desk on your laptop, you do have to have the two-factor authentication app on a mobile device of some type, either a cell phone or an iPad. This is not for accessing it on your mobile. the app is on the mobile for you to, in order to access Desk on your desktop. Because people are getting tripped up on that. And to answer the other question, no, you cannot do it early. You have to wait until your last name and the date attached to it. It will not prompt you to do it early.
Perfect. And Rowena, same thing. If the agent starts on a laptop, they will need a phone, or if they have an iPad, they can do either one of those. They just have to have the app and be able to scan the QR code and be able to receive that authentication prompt. But yes, I would say 99% of the time you're going to have an agent using a laptop, and I would suggest using their phone or their iPad device to walk through that process. And then as a staff person, you have two choices, your mobile device or the iPad, once you are affected by your last name and signing into your staff CBDesk.
Correct. And this is also for 21 online, for our Century 21 folks. They're going through the same process with the multi-factor authentication. And again, it is for security purposes.
Yes, thank you. Any other questions this morning? I know it's hard until you've actually gotten to play with it and put your hands on it. So if you've already been affected and you've walked through it, great. If you're not affected yet, and we still have 10, 20 days left until the next date. And I know it's far and few between. And if you forget, again, you have this video, or feel free to reach out or refer to those instructions from Carrie's email. So you have a plethora of options. If your agent is maybe remote and not in the office, I would highly encourage forwarding those instructions with the screenshot over to your agent, and I know you're going to get those calls from, I can't sign into MyCBDesk. Well, now you can forward them instructions, or even this video. Feel free to do that from Schmidt Video Classroom. All right, well, if there are no other questions, thanks for joining. And if you do have any trouble signing in, or if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to any of us, Carrie, Jess, Paul.